begins with color.
We all have our little ways of doing things, and I noticed I would paint on this and I'd put them in that tray. I like having I don't want anything on the palette except paint. The other thing I do is I scrape off all those little hairs, and they fall down in here, and I put the brush in there, and that junk would end up here and go back on the canvas. So I did this little thing. It's dumb, but it works. A big Monet exhibit, and I was very concerned about all this hair that ends up on my canvas and those cheap brushes. And I saw that Monet had a lot of hairs on his canvas too. Just shout out, what do you think this painting needs? What's wrong with this picture? What could make it better?
Strong vertical right in the middle.
What's that?
The strong.
Now he set himself up as a, okay, I'm gonna get in trouble right now.
What tree?
What?
And other strategies would be to change this from here to here a lot more dramatically. So I was thinking of something that might be even really, really dark back here. So this is one of those things where I really don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm okay with that, but I do have some options. Not just a purple popsicle. Well, it's working there. I put some of it on top of the brown. This would have been a better painting if I didn't start with so much of the same color. Well,
What about gray being in reserve?
Aha.
bingo.
That's what he's got in his hand.
Oh, sorry,
There you go.
sorry.
No, that's what we're doing.
You're
Light gray. You know, I talk about gray all the time, but I still haven't put in my, 5,000 hours of gray. So when I start to put gray on something, I really don't know what it's going to do. There's all sorts of mediums. The name of the game in oil is thin, which would be thin down paint like turp, and then you get thicker. This is the thickest paint, unless you get another medium that has more what they call stand oil in it. I don't want you to get all confused with that. I keep it simple. I watched what these other guys were doing that were making good livings, and they do turp, and they do this, and if they want thicker paint, they go out of the tube. A friend of mine who is very fastidious about all things did a chart of all the white she can get her hands on, and this a little less than medium price ended up being the whitest in the light test. The Winsor Newton and the Gambles, all the other things, they went
what
red
brand is
yellow.
this in your hand?
Made by Weber.
Weber.
I go through a tube of each of these every week. So I buy like a dozen at a time. And I got a little texture, which for years I was just painting slurpy stuff and it didn't have any texture to it. And this is a little more appealing. I'm not trying to do a heavy texture thing, but I like the idea of seeing a brush stroke when you load up the brush a little bit. And it makes this stand out a little better when you do that kind of thing. I'm getting a little gray, and I pick off a little bit of this, and it's like about 1/3 of that, 2/3 color. So I've got a pretty loaded brush. And I just don't know what the deal is here. I'm going to make bigger moves than what I'm playing around with here, but I want to see something. Another thing I'm thinking about is having the light come in from somewhere. I'm leaning towards darkening one side and lighting up more of the trunks on another side. Maybe they're darker over here in a dark background and lighter trunks over here.
Pure colors have in themselves, independently of the objects they serve to express, a significant action on the feelings of those who look at them. Unity is each part makes sense of every part. If you have strong color, also form, also unity, your painting will work.
And pretending, that might be darker over there or over here or at the bottom more, something, because it's so overall. And I like the overall thing, I really do. Now I could also do something dark that just comes through here, like that.
Well, you have to fix the orange.
That's a reasonably interesting choice, pretty choice. And then here's this thing, a little more tricky, but I have a backup. I'm going to try that, and if I want to make it bluer, this goes in. If I want to make it redder, I can throw some red in, or maybe both, to get a little complexity back there. But I think I'll take a shot at something here.
What is drawing? What is color? How are they different? Drawing is of the spirit. A line is a force vector. It's a divider. It's an envelope. Color is of the senses. I have an emotional response.
Yes.
I resolved over there, but I like this business here a little bit. It gives it a little more complexity. And it's going to make that yellow a little bit brighter where I want it brighter.
1954. Sean Scully is an Irish-American hard-edge abstractionist out of New York and Germany. Said it's been a lot of years since the best artist was also the best colorist.
But a purple on a slightly different purple is going to create glow. It creates light. There's a secret to the universe.
Drawing was of the spirit and color was of the senses.
It's not the same darn boring thing. So surprise yourself. Do this, it makes a better painting. So when you're making a sweep, make it do something as it goes across. With Jean Cocteau, be outrageous. Be outrageous, which we can all use more of. You should go further than you should go. Contrast, drama, clarity. You capture what gets your attention. And in the most basic form, you put the marks where the marks go, put the colors where the colors go. But it's not perfection. It's the imperfection that's going to make that emote. It's going to make it compelling.
Is this a dinner?
Yeah, he's
No,
given
the
us
Natural
strength.
History Museum. Okay, is it? There was one you-
See,
I
he's
saw it
not,
in,
he's not, he said he was gonna darken it, but I see strength
more about the science.
Yeah.
with intensity. And also, he's choosing the hues. He's not really applying value as much as he's applying intensity and hue.
Yeah, it's getting more
And
fauve.
depth, Mike.
Say again?
You're getting a
It's
little more
more
fauve.
fauve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way more fauve. It's not a, value is a solution for Raphael and Caravaggio. And those guys have been dead for 450 years.
No.
He wants a solution more contemporary, intensity and hue. Now he's applying some value. You'll have that too because that's part of the color spectrum. Yeah, so now he's doing a value move.
It solves my orange problem. Yeah. It could still use more complexity there. And I don't know what this is, but I don't care right now because it is doing something.
It's his lightest color. It's not overwhelming the story. It's not a value solution. It's still a color solution.
Yeah.
Value and color are different things. Some people think so.
Put in the blue to get more contrast. You know, there's a blue-black there. I didn't want to just make it blacker. I wanted something to happen. Let some of that paint show through. And again, I like the idea, this is opaque paint. You just layers and layers and layers and layers, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now that I learned to draw, I stopped drawing.